The ice groans and fractures, sending vast shards adrift into the frigid sea. Winter is now 21 days shorter than it was just 50 years ago. Emaciated polar bears navigate the widening stretches of open water, often unable to find solid ground again. Belugas, once guided by ancient migratory routes, now wander in vain, hunger gnawing as their prey becomes scarce. The Arctic is changing faster than ever before. With temperatures rising by 1 degree Celsius every decade, and winter sea ice vanishing at an alarming rate of 70,000 square kilometers each year, a once stable ecosystem teeters on the edge. Welcome to Wild Arctic, the untold stories of survival in the ice. As I stand in this frozen expanse, the horizon blurs into white, and the wind cries through shattered ice. It's a voice echoing the fragility of a world unraveling. In 2023, data from the U.S. National Snow and Ice Data Center revealed that the Arctic's summer sea ice minimum had shrunk to just 4.23 million square kilometers, 40% less than in the 1980s. One of the lowest extents ever recorded. The polar bear, ruler of the Arctic, is losing the one thing it needs to survive: sea ice. Unlike other bears, the polar bear hunts almost entirely on the ice. Without it, it can't reach its prey. No ice means no food. And no food means extinction. Hudson Bay, once rich with reliable sea ice, now tells a different story. In the mid-1900s, ice would melt by June and return by November. Today, the ice-free season lasts over 3 weeks longer, shrinking the window when polar bears can hunt. For a mother polar bear, this change is devastating. She gives birth in the heart of the Arctic winter, where temperatures can fall to -40 degrees Celsius. During this time, she eats nothing for up to 8 months, living entirely off her fat stores. She loses nearly 1 kilogram of fat every day as she nurses her newborn cubs. When spring arrives, she must leave her den in search of food. But the timing is critical. If she leaves too early, her cubs may be too weak to survive the long, 160-kilometer trek to the sea ice. If she waits too long, she may not have the strength left to hunt seals, the only food that can sustain her and her young. The Arctic is changing faster than anywhere else on the planet. And the animals that once thrived here are being pushed to the edge. Think you know the Arctic? What comes next might change everything you thought you knew. The Arctic is a region without rigid boundaries, constantly shifting with the seasons. In winter, sea ice stretches outward, covering vast areas. In summer, it retreats, revealing open water. At its heart lies the Arctic Ocean, blanketed by thick, multi-year ice. To the south, the subarctic gives way to sprawling boreal forests, forming a transition zone before merging into the expansive tundra of Canada, Russia, Greenland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, and Alaska. This land is defined by extremes, not just in temperature but in light. Here, summer brings endless daylight, while winter descends into long months of darkness. The official boundary of the Arctic is marked by the Arctic Circle, located at 66 degrees 33 feet north latitude. At this latitude, the sun remains above the horizon for at least 1 full day in summer, and below it for 1 full day in winter. The word Arctic comes from the ancient Greek Arctikos, meaning near the bear, and from Arctos, or bear. These names are linked to the northern constellations, especially Ursa Major, the Great Bear, that have helped guide sailors and explorers through the Arctic for centuries. This is a realm of stark beauty, a sweeping wilderness where vast sheets of ice meet the dark, frigid waters of the Northern Ocean. One thing is certain, it no longer looks the same as it did in ages past. Millions of years ago, the Arctic was part of Pangaea, the ancient supercontinent where all of Earth's landmasses were joined together. As tectonic plates slowly shifted, Pangaea broke apart, forming today's continents and shaping the Arctic Ocean, now surrounded by North America, Europe, and Asia. The Brooks Range in Alaska rose from the clash of two great tectonic forces, the North American and Pacific plates colliding in the distant west. Far across the Arctic landscape, the Ural Mountains emerged to form a natural boundary between Europe and Asia, their rugged peaks shaped by powerful geological events that occurred hundreds of millions of years ago. Over time, massive glaciers carved deep grooves into the Earth's crust, sculpting dramatic fjords like those in Svalbard, Norway, where sheer cliffs rise above icy waters. For hundreds of thousands of years, our planet has cycled through multiple ice ages, each lasting tens of thousands of years. With every cycle, glaciers advanced and retreated, driven by shifts in Earth's climate. These movements left an unmistakable mark on the Arctic. Vast tundras, ancient riverbeds, and prehistoric lakes are all remnants of the ice's immense power. At one point, ice sheets blanketed almost the entire northern hemisphere. Only isolated pockets of land peeked through beneath the pale Arctic sun. But as global temperatures rose, the ice began to retreat, revealing open plains and ancient landscapes shaped over millions of years. Go further back, to the Cretaceous period, about 145 to 66 million years ago, and the Arctic looked very different. Back then, it was much warmer. Dense forests stretched across the region, rivers meandered through fertile plains, and dinosaurs thrived in a vibrant ecosystem. These lands were once coastal zones of the vast western interior seaway, an enormous inland sea that split North America in two. Dinosaurs such as Cosmosaurus, Hypacrosaurus, Trudon, and Edmontosaurus roamed the high north, taking advantage of the brief Arctic summers filled with abundant vegetation and long days. When winter arrived, some species likely migrated south in search of milder climates and more reliable food sources. A similar migration may have taken place in the southern hemisphere, where dinosaurs like Muttaburrasaurus in ancient Australia may have moved to escape the harsh winters of prehistoric Antarctica. However, not all dinosaurs fled the cold. Fossil evidence suggests that some species stayed in the Arctic year-round. Near the Colville River in modern-day Alaska, located at 70 degrees north latitude, scientists have uncovered fossils that tell a story of Arctic adaptation. Bones and teeth from species like Pachyrhinosaurus, a horned dinosaur, reveal that life persisted even in the most extreme conditions. Some of these fossils were found in areas that, 70 million years ago, lay even farther north, offering a glimpse into an ancient world of resilience and survival in Earth's frozen frontier. New discoveries continue to shed light on the prehistoric Arctic. Buried deep within its sedimentary layers, paleontologists are uncovering fossilized footprints and traces of ancient ecosystems. Some findings suggest that the Arctic was once home not only to dinosaurs but also to prehistoric marine reptiles like plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, creatures that thrived in the chilly yet ice-free waters of ancient polar seas for millennia. But it wasn't only wildlife that braved the extremes of the Arctic, humans did too. Among the oldest indigenous peoples of the region are the Inuit, descendants of the Thule culture that emerged around 4,000 years ago. Ingenious innovations like the igloo, its dome shape and insulating design, enabled the Inuit to survive even the harshest nights, where temperatures plunged to -40 degrees Celsius. Their portable chum tents, similar in design to those of the Sami people, allow for quick relocation as they follow their reindeer across vast tundra. In brutal winters, when temperatures can fall below -50 degrees Celsius, they rely on high-fat diets, reindeer meat, frozen fish, and traditional knowledge passed down through centuries. Beneath the frozen surface, the Arctic pulses with life, adapted in extraordinary ways to survive one of the harshest climates on Earth. Though Arctic vegetation is less diverse than in warmer regions, over 1,700 species of plants have evolved to thrive in nutrient-poor soil and extreme cold. Autumn arrives with subtle urgency. The light softens, casting golden and amber hues across the horizon. Sunsets stretch for hours, painting the land in glowing coppers and deep violet. The tundra transforms into a breathtaking natural canvas. Animals, in tune with these seasonal cues, begin to act. Some migrate, while others adapt to the deep freeze ahead. In northern Canada's Wapisk National Park, vast herds of caribou begin one of the planet's greatest migrations. They travel over 400 kilometers south, seeking open grazing land before snow obscures their path. This age-old journey is treacherous. Freezing rivers, biting winds, and ever-present predators make survival a relentless struggle. Caribou are built for this. Their long snouts warm frigid air before it reaches their lungs, conserving precious body heat. Their broad, split hooves function like natural snowshoes, keeping them from sinking into the snow. These same hooves help them dig through thick snow in search of lichen, one of the few available food sources in winter. Farther north in Scandinavia, caribou, called reindeer, have long been central to the Sami way of life. For centuries, the Sami people have followed these herds, domesticating them for food, milk, and hides. As winter descends, they traverse the snow-covered taiga and tundra in sleds pulled by reindeer, echoing ancient rhythms of Arctic survival. Meanwhile, wild caribou continue their journey across the frozen north. Young calves stick close to their mothers, learning the ancient routes, crossing frozen rivers, and always alert to danger. The wind whispers of wolves, silent predators that stalk the herds, waiting for signs of weakness. Arctic wolves are made for endurance. Their thick, double-layered coats retain heat even when temperatures fall below -50 degrees Celsius. A single pack can cover up to 200 kilometers in a day, tracking the herds with patience and precision. The hunt is strategic. Wolves travel in packs of 5 to 11, led by a dominant pair. They move in unison, surrounding their prey, cutting off escape routes. When they strike, it is fast and efficient. The wolves don't chase blindly. They pace themselves, conserving energy, wearing down the herd. When the opportunity arises, one wolf lunges, sinking its jaws into the throat of a weakened target. The hunt ends in seconds. Afterward, the pack follows a strict order. The alpha eats first, preserving its strength to lead and protect. The pack waits in silence. Young wolves, just beginning to test their strength, stand behind seasoned hunters. Every bite is consumed with purpose. Yet this ancient rhythm, predator and prey, survival through unity, is unraveling. Climate change is melting the ice faster than ever, throwing off the timing of caribou migrations and shortening hunting windows. According to a 2020 University of Alberta study, Arctic wolves now experience a 12% drop in hunting success compared to 2 decades ago. As familiar grounds disappear, wolves are forced to roam farther, clashing with other predators in an ever-tightening battle for survival. To the east, in Norway's Dovrefell National Park, the only place in Europe where wild musk oxen still roam, prehistoric giants make their stand. These shaggy survivors once lived alongside mammoths and saber-toothed cats during the Ice Age. The mammoths are gone, but the musk oxen endure, as resilient and ancient as the land itself. Their long, coarse outer hair, up to 10 centimeters thick, forms a windproof shield, while beneath it lies keviot, a soft undercoat 8 times warmer than wool. When storms roll in and temperatures fall to minus 40 degrees Celsius, the herd huddles together, backs to the wind, forming a living wall. With their broad hooves acting like snowshoes, they dig through frozen earth in search of buried mosses and lichens. But predators are never far. Arctic wolves trail them silently, waiting for a moment of weakness. In the face of attack, musk oxen don't flee. They form a circle, horns out, calves hidden inside. This ancient formation has held off predators for millennia. As autumn descends across the vast boreal forest, spanning from the southern Arctic Circle to the subarctic zones of North America, Europe, and Siberia, the landscape ignites in color. Golden larch, fiery birch, and crimson aspen contrast the deep green of evergreen conifers. Temperatures fall from a mild 5 degrees Celsius to minus 5 in just weeks. These vibrant changes reflect intricate biological processes. As chlorophyll fades from the leaves, hidden pigments, carotenoids and anthocyanins, shine through, giving the Arctic its brief, dazzling farewell to warmth. Forest trails become carpets of fallen gold, leading to wildlife havens. In Canada's Wood Buffalo National Park, wide wetlands attract flocks of migratory birds and large mammals. In Denali, Alaska, snow-kissed peaks loom above valleys aglow with fall colors. A landscape tailor-made for photographers and nature lovers. From behind thinning trees, a towering figure emerges. A moose, the quiet giant of the north, steps through a shallow stream. As the largest member of the deer family, it can reach over 2 meters at the shoulder and weigh more than 700 kilograms. During the rut, or mating season, mature males clash in epic battles. Their massive antlers, spanning up to 2 meters, crash together like ancient weapons. These fights can last for hours, with only the strongest winning the right to mate. As frost begins to lace the black spruce, autumn whispers its last breath. In the stillness, only the heavy footfalls of the forest's most elusive predator disturb the silence, the wolverine. Fierce, solitary, and endlessly mobile, the wolverine prowls through taiga and tundra. It follows no pack, claims no fixed home, and can cover up to 200 kilometers in a day. When prey is scarce, it scavenges from kills made by larger predators. With jaws powerful enough to crush bone, the wolverine wastes nothing. Unlike wolves, it leaves behind no remains. Bone marrow, rich in nutrients, is too valuable to ignore. It stores excess food in the snow, the Arctic's natural freezer, preserving it for the leanest months. Buried caches become lifelines in a world where blizzards can last for days. As light fades from the Arctic skies, and frost creeps deeper into the earth, another predator begins its final preparations, the grizzly bear. With winter approaching fast, instinct drives the bear into a feeding frenzy. A fully grown grizzly must consume more than 20,000 calories each day. Salmon, rich in fat and energy, becomes a critical resource. Every bite helps transform lean muscle into life-saving fat. But bears don't rely on fish alone. Across the tundra, berry bushes burst with ripe fruit, blueberries, cranberries, and cloudberries, providing natural sugars that help the grizzly bulk up. By late fall, a grizzly may gain over 180 kilograms, stockpiling the reserves it needs to survive torpor, a months-long winter state where its heart rate slows, and it lives entirely off its stored fat. Failure to gain enough weight could mean death. Offshore, cold winds return, spreading across the water like whispers of change. The sea stills. On the horizon, autumn's fading light dances across drifting icebergs, transforming them into glittering towers of blue and white. This moment marks a turning point. New sea ice begins to form, a slow, silent spread that signals the beginning of winter. Thin crystals solidify into sheets. This ice will become the foundation of the entire Arctic ecosystem, supporting seals, polar bears, and all who depend on the frozen ocean for survival. As the sea ice spreads across the Arctic, it marks the return of migrating species. Sea creatures, who spent the warmer months in open waters teeming with food, now head northward to find refuge and hunting grounds within the sea ice. For some species, this ice is essential for survival. It offers a place to rest after long hunts, a safe space to breed, and a means to evade predators lurking beneath the frozen depths. For explorers, autumn on the Arctic Ocean presents the perfect time for adventure. Icebreaker expeditions provide rare opportunities to venture into one of Earth's most untouched landscapes. From the ship's deck, travelers can witness the majestic drift of massive icebergs, each one uniquely shaped, silently gliding beneath the soft glow of autumn sunsets. Below the surface, the ecosystem thrives in a delicate balance. As the sea ice thickens, sunlight filters through cracks in the ice, sparking the growth of microscopic sea ice algae. These tiny plants flourish beneath the frozen surface, serving as the foundational food source for zooplankton, the first link in the intricate food chain of the Arctic. The spreading ice signals an abundance of food, drawing fish, marine mammals, and seabirds back into Arctic waters. Among the migrators is the gray whale, the longest traveling mammal on Earth. Each year, these whales embark on a journey of 10,000 to 12,000 kilometers, starting from the icy Chukchi and Bering Seas. Their route takes them along the Gulf of Alaska, down the North American coast, and finally to the warm lagoons of Baja California, Mexico. For the gray whales, timing is everything. Adult whales, especially pregnant females, lead the migration, while juveniles and males follow behind. If they leave too early, they risk exhausting their food sources. But if they wait too long, the advancing ice could trap them, cutting off access to the nutrient-rich waters they rely on. In the early stages of their migration, the whales still have access to the last available food. In places like Hudson Bay, they feed on benthic amphipods, small creatures that burrow in ocean floor sediment. Unlike other whales, who filter feed from open water, gray whales roll onto their sides and suck up mud from the ocean floor, filtering out their prey with baleen plates. The scars left behind in the mud mark their last meals before they head south. By December, many of these whales reach Baja California, where they take shelter in calm lagoons like Laguna San Ignacio. Here, mothers give birth in predator-free waters, and newborn calves nurse on their mother's nutrient-dense milk to build strength for the return journey north in the spring. As winter settles over the Arctic, the landscape transforms into a domain of silence and severity. The long days of autumn fade into near-perpetual darkness. With no sunlight to thaw the snow or warm the ground, the region plunges into bone-chilling cold that only the most resilient creatures can endure. In the Arctic mountain ranges, temperatures can plummet to -50 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze breath mid-exhalation. Sheer cliff faces, now blanketed in early-season snow, stretch out like an endless white expanse. Blizzards roar through the mountains, howling winds lifting thick layers of snow and reducing visibility to zero. The faint winter sunlight glints off glaciers, revealing deep blue hues trapped beneath layers of ancient ice. In the valleys, sluggish glacial rivers snake through the landscape, frozen but still moving so slowly they appear motionless. These rivers, carved into the bedrock over thousands of years, serve as silent markers of time. This land is reserved for the hardiest of life forms. On the steep, predator-free cliffs, Dall sheep endure. These creatures have adapted to survive in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. Beneath their thick white coats, which can be up to 8 centimeters long, their bodies retain heat, helping them withstand the frigid cold. Their fur not only insulates but also provides camouflage against the snow, allowing them to blend seamlessly into their surroundings. However, it is not their fur that ensures their survival, it's their specialized hooves. With hard outer rims and soft, grippy interiors, their hooves allow them to cling to icy rock faces with ease. As the landscape becomes blanketed in snow, only the exposed mountain peaks remain accessible. These high-altitude patches of grass, untouched by snow, are vital to the sheep's survival. Unlike migratory species, the Dall sheep remain in the mountains throughout winter, conserving their energy. Rather than wandering aimlessly, they stay within the rugged terrain, only venturing out when absolutely necessary. The dried grasses from summer, now buried under snow, are their sole food source. To survive, they must dig through the snow, layer by layer, to uncover any remaining vegetation. When the winds grow stronger, the animals huddle together, turning their faces into the biting cold to conserve warmth, carefully managing their energy in the face of the relentless Arctic chill. As winter sets in, the sea ice expands, linking drifting icebergs into an endless frozen expanse. Massive ice floes gradually merge, forming a vast, unbroken sheet of ice that stretches across millions of square kilometers. There are no crashing waves, no ocean currents disrupting the surface. Only faint cracks remain, where seawater seeps through and freezes instantly in the frigid cold. The entire ocean seems to hold its breath, but beneath the thick ice, a hidden world of life continues to thrive. The Inuit, the indigenous people of the Arctic, have perfected the art of survival on sea ice. In the summer, they navigate open waters in umiaks, light but sturdy boats, to hunt beluga whales and narwhals. When winter arrives, seal hunting becomes vital for their survival. Using traditional harpoons, they wait for hours or even days at breathing holes in the ice, striking with precision to secure not just food, but also fur, hides, and blubber, resources that are crucial for warmth, tools, and light during the long, dark winter nights. As winter tightens its grip, the Arctic Ocean is transformed into a vast, endless white expanse, stretching to the horizon. Icebergs merge into an unbroken landscape, where the polar bear, the undisputed sovereign of the Arctic, begins its relentless fight for survival. In places like Svalbard, Norway, under the dim winter light, these bears can be observed in the wild. Farther west, in Churchill, Canada, known as the polar bear capital of the world, hundreds of bears gather along the Hudson Bay coastline, waiting eagerly for the return of the sea ice and the start of the hunt. The cold poses no challenge for the polar bear, a species built to thrive in the Arctic. With bodies that can weigh up to 600 kilograms, thick double-layered coats, and a thick layer of fat, they are well equipped to stay warm even in freezing waters. Their broad paws act as natural snowshoes, helping them navigate the fragile ice. This ice isn't just a hunting platform, it's their shelter, battleground, and lifeline. As the sea freezes, polar bears position themselves near seal breathing holes, lying in wait to ambush the ringed seals. The blubber of the seals provides the essential energy that polar bears need to endure the harsh Arctic winter. During times when food is scarce, polar bears adapt by scavenging whale carcasses washed ashore or trailing musk oxen and young caribou, taking advantage of rare opportunities to hunt on land. Swimming plays a vital role in their survival as well. As the ice shifts and breaks apart, polar bears navigate the drifting ice floes, sometimes swimming hundreds of kilometers to reach stable ground. One recorded bear swam 700 kilometers over 9 days, stopping only on small ice patches whenever possible. Their thick fat layers keep them buoyant, while their powerful forelimbs propel them through the cold Arctic waters. However, the journey is perilous, and not all bears survive the exhausting trek. Young or elderly bears may not have the strength to reach stable ice before succumbing to exhaustion. Winter isn't just a hunting season for the polar bear, it's a critical time for expectant mothers. They leave the sea ice to dig snow dens along coastal areas or remote islands. After an 8-month gestation period, cubs are born, typically in pairs. At birth, the cubs weigh only around 600 grams, small, fragile, and almost hairless. But in the warmth of their mother's snow den, protected from the Arctic winds and predators, they thrive on her milk, which contains up to 31% fat, the highest fat content found in any mammal. Deep beneath the icy ocean, where darkness persists for months and the surface is frozen solid, the orca, the ruler of the sea, remains undeterred by the harsh Arctic winter. Beneath the thick ice, orcas use echolocation, emitting high-frequency sound waves to navigate through the frigid, murky waters. They listen for the returning echoes to locate their prey, ensuring they can continue hunting even in the darkest, most isolated parts of the ocean. The orca, the apex predator of the sea, uses its remarkable ability to identify seals hidden beneath the ice or schools of fish swimming in the dark depths. As the largest members of the dolphin family, orcas exhibit exceptional intelligence and a complex social structure. Unlike solitary hunters, orcas live in pods, where multiple generations coexist, hunt together, and pass down knowledge. The Arctic winter presents both challenges and opportunities. As the sea ice expands, seals become trapped on isolated ice floes, making them easy prey for orcas. However, the orca relies on more than just brute strength to hunt. They use sophisticated techniques to outwit their prey, one of the most impressive being wave washing. By swimming in formation, the pod creates waves that push seals off the ice. When a lone seal is spotted on a fragile ice sheet, the pod collaborates, generating powerful waves that crack the ice. As the ice breaks, the seal has no escape and falls into the water, where the orcas are ready to strike. In another daring method, known as shore hunting, some pods have learned to charge onto land, using their massive bodies to snatch seals from beaches or the edges of ice. This high-risk tactic demands perfect precision, as one wrong move could leave an orca stranded. Young orcas spend years observing and practicing these advanced techniques under the guidance of older pod members until they are capable of executing them flawlessly. So, who truly rules the Arctic? The polar bear or the orca? Winter in the Arctic transforms isolated islands into frozen fortresses, drifting through a vast and empty ocean. Biting winds sweep across barren landscapes, lifting snowflakes into the air, forming glittering spirals under the rare winter sunlight. The Arctic archipelagos offer an extraordinary adventure for those seeking unique experiences. Icebreaker expeditions carry travelers deep into icy waters, where they can witness massive icebergs drifting silently across the frozen sea. In Svalbard, traditional wooden cabins offer warmth, while the world outside remains frozen in harsh stillness. On the cliff faces of Svalbard, seabirds like the little auk and thick-billed murre search for open water, where fish and plankton thrive beneath the ice. While some species migrate south to escape the brutal cold, others, like the glaucous gull, remain, soaring over dark waters, ever watchful for survival opportunities. On rugged, rocky shores, walrus herds huddle together, their thick skin creating a natural windbreak to shield them from the Arctic cold. Adult males, weighing up to a ton, lie still, their breath visible in the frigid air. Walrus populations dwindled significantly in the 18th and 19th centuries due to excessive hunting for their rich blubber and valuable ivory tusks. However, after commercial hunting bans in the 20th century, their numbers have slowly recovered. Despite their cumbersome appearance, walrus are equipped with powerful defenses. Their tusks, which can grow over a meter long, are used in mating battles and to protect themselves from predators like polar bears and orcas. They also help walrus haul themselves onto floating ice and maintain breathing holes in thick ice, ensuring they can dive for food. Walrus feed by diving to the seafloor, using their sensitive whiskers to locate bivalve mollusks, clams, and mussels. They can consume thousands daily, storing energy to withstand long Arctic storms. In the waters surrounding the Svalbard archipelago, Norway, the bowhead whale makes its journey through the dark depths of the Arctic, one of the few places where it shares its habitat with the fin whale, the second largest whale species on Earth. As light filters through fractured ice, the exhalations of whales rise into the air, creating surreal spectacles against the winter sky. With lifespans exceeding 200 years, bowhead whales are among Earth's longest living mammals. Some have even been found carrying harpoon tips from the 19th century, haunting reminders of the whaling era that nearly pushed them to extinction. Unlike other whale species, bowhead whales can survive year-round in the Arctic without migrating south to escape the cold. Their thick blubber layer, up to 50 centimeters thick, provides insulation and energy reserves to protect them from the freezing temperatures. The bowhead's massive skull, reinforced with dense bone, enables it to break through sea ice up to 30 centimeters thick, ensuring access to breathing holes even when the ocean is sealed by ice. As winter reaches its peak, the Arctic becomes a frozen realm of stillness, with darkness enveloping the land for months. The sun disappears, leaving an unyielding night behind, and food becomes an incredibly precious resource. Some animals hibernate to escape the harshest months. The Arctic ground squirrel is the only mammal known to lower its body temperature below freezing, down to -2.9 degrees Celsius. The woolly bear caterpillar, an Arctic insect, completely freezes its body, remaining dormant throughout the long winter. Other species, like the ptarmigan, stay active by growing extra feathers on their legs and beak, insulating them against the extreme cold without migrating south. Similarly, the snow bunting survives the brutal Arctic winter thanks to remarkable adaptations. Its multi-layered feathers provide excellent insulation, creating a natural barrier against heat loss. Its metabolic rate can increase by 50%, generating enough warmth to withstand the harsh winds. This small bird not only survives but remains active even in temperatures dropping below -40 degrees Celsius. The snow bunting is one of the few birds that continue to sing, even in sub-zero conditions. Its song serves as a form of communication, maintaining bonds with mates and asserting territory while the world around it lies frozen in silence. On the steep cliffs of Gates of the Arctic National Park in Alaska, the Arctic fox uses its sharp claws to grip slick ice as fierce winds shake the rock face. Beneath the thick snow, lemmings scurry unseen through their warm tunnels. The Arctic fox's keen hearing allows it to detect the faintest sounds of lemmings beneath the snow. When the time is right, it leaps upward, diving headfirst into the snow to catch its prey. However, food in the Arctic is scarce, and the fox cannot rely on a single hunt. After capturing its prey, The Arctic fox buries excess food in underground caches, storing it for leaner times ahead. Some foxes hunt up to 90 lemmings daily, eating only what they need and storing the rest. But when lemmings are scarce, the Arctic fox follows larger predators, like polar bears, waiting to scavenge their leftovers. In 2023, an Arctic fox was recorded traveling from Svalbard, Norway, across the Arctic Ocean to Canada in just 76 days, setting the longest recorded migration for any mammal. The Arctic fox is equipped with one of the most effective insulation systems in the animal kingdom. Its thick fur, measuring up to 10 centimeters, consists of 2 protective layers. A dense undercoat traps heat, while the longer outer layer prevents warmth from escaping, allowing the fox to endure even the most extreme winter conditions. But the cold is no longer the fox's greatest challenge. A new, larger predator, the red fox, has moved into the region. Once native to southern forests, the red fox is now expanding northward, taking advantage of milder winters. Since 1971, Arctic temperatures have increased by over 3 degrees Celsius, warming at twice the global rate. This shift has allowed the red fox to invade the Arctic, threatening the Arctic fox's territory. With its larger size and greater strength, the red fox, sometimes weighing up to 8.7 kilograms, has outcompeted the smaller Arctic fox, which weighs only 2.5 to 4.5 kilograms, forcing it into a desperate fight for survival. In direct territorial disputes, the more powerful predator triumphs. The once abundant hunting grounds filled with lemmings, a vital winter food source, are now dominated by the red fox. For the Arctic fox, only barren, snow-covered fields remain. The competition isn't limited to food. The red fox also claims shelter. Surveillance cameras across Alaska, Canada, and Siberia have captured footage of red foxes chasing Arctic foxes out of their dens, taking over the safe havens that once shielded them from blizzards. Some studies have even documented red foxes killing Arctic foxes, not just for competition, but also as a food source when prey becomes scarce. The arrival of the red fox marks a significant shift in the Arctic's ecosystem. This predator doesn't need to adapt to the Arctic. Instead, the Arctic is changing to accommodate it. Climate change is not only melting ice, it's transforming entire ecosystems, forcing animals to migrate and sparking fierce survival battles. With the red fox now entrenched in the Arctic, native species face a tough decision: fight, flee, or risk disappearing altogether. The red fox isn't the only intruder. Climate change has also allowed the great gray owl to venture farther north, into colder regions than ever before. Known as the Phantom of the North, this mysterious predator silently perches on bare branches, its sharp yellow eyes scanning the icy terrain for any movement. Beneath 30 centimeters of snow, lemmings hide in intricate underground tunnels, isolated from the outside world. However, even the slightest movement leaves traces, whether it's a paw scraping or a faint heartbeat. The great gray owl is highly attuned to these sounds. Its unique skull structure and large facial discs amplify sound, helping it pinpoint the exact location of its prey. Without a sound, the owl dives, its wingspan stretching 1.5 meters as it glides silently through the air. The serrated edges of its feathers muffle its descent, making it an expert in stealth hunting. As the owl reaches its target, its talons strike with precision, breaking through the snow to secure a meal. The lemming stands no chance of escape. However, the great gray owl isn't the only predator in the Arctic. The snowy owl, the iconic hunter of the tundra, also preys on lemmings. Once the unquestioned ruler of the Arctic skies, the snowy owl now faces competition from the new, silent shadow of the snow, the great gray owl. As winters become harsher, territorial disputes between these two formidable hunters are intensifying. Stay vigilant, as you're about to witness one of the Arctic's most brutal survival struggles. The snowy owl, famous for its haunting calls, faces a crucial decision each winter: stay or migrate. Unlike most migratory birds, snowy owls don't always leave the Arctic. Although they can endure severe snowstorms, if the snowfall becomes too heavy, burying entire hunting grounds, they are driven to move south. Some snowy owls travel over 2,500 kilometers, reaching Scandinavia or other temperate areas in search of fresh food sources. However, migration is no easy feat. The Arctic sky is not just cold, it's unforgiving, presenting risks with every decision. Staying means enduring a grueling hunting season. Thick snow blankets the tundra, hiding lemmings, the primary prey of snowy owls. Even the sharpest vision cannot locate food buried beneath deep snow. But the owl's exceptional hearing allows it to detect even the faintest movement. With a precise strike, the snowy owl can pierce the snow and secure its meal in mere seconds. But what happens when lemmings become scarce? The natural boom and bust cycle of lemming populations, which peaks every 4 years, has become increasingly unstable due to climate change. This disruption has made the snowy owl's food supply unpredictable. When lemming numbers fall, juvenile snowy owls face starvation. A snowy owl needs at least 4 lemmings a day to survive. During abundant years, a breeding pair can raise up to 11 chicks. But when food is scarce, only the strongest chicks survive. Male snowy owls, responsible for hunting for the brood, must travel longer distances in search of food, but many return without success. Failed hunts mean less food, and with the influx of new predators, competition intensifies. In the harshest moments of nature, weakness is not tolerated. When a chick is too frail to survive, it becomes nourishment for the others, a harsh but necessary rule that ensures only the strongest endure. High above, a flash of light dances across the dark Arctic sky as the aurora borealis begins its mesmerizing display. Green, purple, pink, and red lights swirl across the sky, shifting constantly before fading and reappearing in new forms. This captivating sight is not magic, but the result of a physical interaction between Earth and the Sun. Charged particles from solar winds collide with Earth's atmosphere, exciting gas atoms and causing them to glow. Oxygen creates green and red hues, while nitrogen adds deep blues and purples. Have you ever seen the aurora borealis? If given the opportunity, would you travel to the Arctic to witness it firsthand? Locations like Tromsø in Norway, Fairbanks in Alaska, and Yellowknife in Canada draw travelers from all over the world, eager to experience this astronomical phenomenon. Some Inuit legends describe the aurora as the dancing spirits of their ancestors, while scientists see it as a beautiful display of physics. Researchers study the aurora to learn more about Earth's magnetic field and its response to shifts in solar activity. Geomagnetic storms caused by solar winds can disrupt satellites and communication systems, but in the Arctic, it's simply a breathtaking spectacle playing out under the polar night. Beneath the glowing sky, the Arctic's silent survivors continue their fight for survival. As the nights shorten and the first light of dawn touches the horizon, a significant transformation begins. Glaciers start to crack, forming deep fractures across the sea ice, where the dark ocean waits to emerge. The snow that blankets the tundra begins to melt, revealing lichens and Arctic moss that stir from their long slumber. After months hidden beneath the snow, grizzly bears awaken from their dens in mountain cliffs and beneath fallen trees. Males emerge first, walking across the snowy ground, the remnants of winter still visible around them. The fat reserves that once sustained them are almost gone, and hunger pushes them forward relentlessly. With the spring sun, carcasses concealed under the snow for months begin to surface, a rare feast. Grizzly bears rely on their keen sense of smell to track decaying flesh, maximizing the protein from these scarce resources. When meat is hard to find, they dig into the softened soil, searching for roots, fresh sprouts, or any new plant life. Soon, females appear, bringing their young cubs, only a few months old, who clumsily follow their mothers across the thawing ice. They move towards meadows where plant life begins to thrive. In the quiet forests, blueberry bushes start to sprout, signaling the start of a summer full of nourishment. The golden rays of the sun spread over the landscape, inviting life to bloom once more. In the depths of the Arctic's extraordinary ecosystem, every species, whether predator or prey, plays an essential role in the intricate web of life that connects them all. As the Arctic continues to evolve, we are reminded of our shared responsibility to protect this beautiful yet fragile environment. Every change counts, and every action matters. Together, we can write the next chapter of the Arctic's unfolding story, ensuring a future where both nature and humanity can thrive.